Okay, think we're live streaming again. Another short live stream to address a good question, how to do calculations here in the multiple proportions module 3 of our statistics 2 class. We have another video we just did that was kind of long about goodness of fit testing. Well, now let's talk about testing for, independence and homogeneity. They both use the same technology. So I'll just look at the independence section here to get an example to illustrate with some technology. Stuff to read in the overview. I have to repair these online textbook links that are broken. I apologize. I'll fix them. But these open intro slides for chapter 6 and 4/10. Joking, it's the 4th section of chapter 6. Did I call that a joke? It was a mistake, not a joke. Here we are. Let me scroll down so we can see our slides. Homogeneity and independence. They're together in the slideshow. And we'll look at the first example here because it's a good one to practice calculations. Friend, there we go. If you haven't looked at these slides, let me settle us in. In the data set, popular, students in grades 4 through 6 were asked whether good grades, athletic ability, or popularity was most important to them. A two-way table separating the students by grade and by choice of most important factor in their school lives is shown below. You can see in the table, we got the rows are the 4th, 5th, and 6th grade students labeled in the mosaic plot in the lower right, labeling the columns with the different grade levels. And the preferences, the factor preferences, grades, popularity, and sports labeled grades, popular, and sports on the plot. You can see the numbers in the chart and the relative sizes of how those look in the mosaic plot. Okay, now let's cruise real quickly through here. When you have two variables for the same group, so think of this as one group of students, one sample of students, there's two variables, grade level, 4th, 5th, or 6th, and factor importance preference, grades, popularity, or sports. One group, two variables. This is going to be, we're going to be just checking if the variables are independent or not. That's how I'd view this as a test of independence. Let's double check. Yeah, the hypotheses here, null hypothesis, grade level, and goal preference are independent. That is, doesn't matter which grade level a student is in, their preferences are just random with regard to that. That is, goals do not vary by grade, or the alternative hypothesis, grade level and goals are dependent. That is, there's variation in goal preferences among the grades. Looking back at the graph, I mean, I can see there's popularity is not as much preferred among the 4th graders as the 5th graders. It's not a huge difference. And you can see the preference of sports kind of shrinks 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade. If I'm reading across, shrinking that way, but not that much. So I don't think, it doesn't look like we're going to get much evidence of any relationship here. We'll probably get a high p-value. So let's calculate the p-value. Again, we're going to go to our buddy, www.geogebra.com. And if you didn't watch the other video, well, you're going to have something new when I make a little list showing where we're going. If you did, sorry, some of this is repetitive, but maybe that's helpful because we're learning stuff. All right, geogebra.org/classic. Whenever I see that recover unsaved changes, unless I've accidentally closed a window, I don't worry about it. Delete them. I'm going to start fresh. So assuming you're watching this video just because you're on the test of independence page, let me put some notes for where we're going to go here as we go. Once you land at geogebra.org/classic, you want to go to the probability calculator, which is right there on the list of options for this software. Then the next place to be is the statistics tab, is where you do hypothesis test calculations and where you can make a confidence interval calculations happen. So I'm going to head over there. And this is a perfect place to pause and take a couple of notes about the path. We started off heading to geogebra.org/classic. We made sure to get to the probability calculator. That also lives in the main menu in the upper, I don't know which direction I'm pointing in the video, maybe that way-ish. No, that way-ish. I don't know. It's in the 3 bars menu at the top of the screen too, under view. So view. And then we're in the statistics zone. That's a tab here at the top of our screen. And then we've got to go just below the statistics tab and distribution tab choice. We've got our buddy, the main menu for all of the different kinds of calculations that can be done. And the last option on that list is our buddy, a chi-squared test. There we go. Relaxing, straightforward. It's going to pop up with the rows and columns already set to 3 by 3 by default. If your table that's comparing the two variables is 3 by 2 or 2 by 3 or 4 by 4, set the rows and columns first. So I'll put that note over here. Oh, and let's make sure it says chi-squared. They type it all as one word with a D on the end. Might not look exactly like our textbook, but it's still pretty good. And then beep beep, set rows and columns. And I've done it of course myself, so I know, do that first, because if you start entering things, then change either of them, it makes a new table that's empty and you've got to do the work again. Luckily, I can already remember our data set. It was a 3 by 3 one because it was 4th, 5th, and 6th grades were in the rows. 4th, 5th, and 6th grades. These labels don't affect the calculations at all, but they're useful if you want them for your eyeballs. I often like to save my work in a computer as a screenshot. So yeah, a screenshot, the labels would help me if I was going to look back at this later. Or heck, if I was going to show my work on my exam as a student, a screenshot is great. Where is that data? It's over here. Grades, popularity, and sports are the options across the columns. We'll just get those entered here. Grades. Oops, well, typo. I'll fix my typo just, to be a classy typo fixer. And then it's just carefully get all of the values entered into the table. You can tab through these to enter them. So you can go kind of across the rows as you go. I think I'll do that this time, but your tab key will, like most forms, take you across the rows. So 63, 31, 25 for the 4th graders, 63, 31, 25. For the 5th graders, I got to go get 3 values for the columns as well. 88, 55, 33. It's kind of cool. They're all they're all like multiples of 11. 88, 55, 33. Fun. Oops, I missed the tab button. I hit the caps lock key. 88, 55. I did it again. 33. Double check that I got those right. Yeah, and then 96. Coincidentally, the same number, 55 and 32. 96, 55, 32. And the moment I've entered all those values into GeoGebra's table here, the chi-square test is running with the software. It calculates degrees of freedom. Get my my little stamper here. We got our degrees of freedom, 4. That's the number of rows minus 1. So 2 rows multiplied by the number of columns less 1. So there's 3 rows and 3 columns. So 2 times 2 is 4 degrees of freedom. And right there is our chi-squared statistic, 1 and a little more than 3/10 if we use the formula and all of that work to do calculations. And below that's our p-value, which, remember, we looked at the graph. It didn't look like there was much difference in preferences across the grade levels. So if we assume grade level and preference are independent, like our null hypothesis, the probability we'd see differences in these counts this big or bigger, well, it's real high. It's like 86% with that p-value. Looks good. So there's there's the whole deal. That's it. I'll keep this one short. Just remember, there's lots of great ways to do these calculations, lots of great technology out there. Whatever's working for you is going to work for me. And if you have questions, ask. If I can help out with little either discussions via Zoom that we can record if we want to, or just making you a little video if that's easier than me writing an email. Obviously, I could never type this up. It would be so weird to try to type all this up. But we'll do what we can. All right. I hope that helps. Have a good one. Now I've got to find the stop the live stream button.